Standing in my way, I said, let's have a drink, man. What do you say? Well, did you know about the mystery? How your modern celebrity, he raised his glass and he smirked with a smile.
That's some funky song right there.
Big Harry stood, old Sasquatch. I heard a rustle in the brush. I turned to take a look, and standing there eyeballing me was Bigfoot. So I took off down the mountainside, found the road, and I flagged right. Even left my four-wheel drive, Bigfoot. Said he must have stood about 10 feet tall, 4 feet across the beam. Big red eyes and hairy thighs, and everything I've ever seen. Two long arms hanging down, way below his knee. 25 and legs like redwood tree. I reckon there ain't no man alive that repossess my four-wheel drive. Bigfoot. Oh, Bigfoot. I'll tell you one thing, boys, I sure wouldn't want to try. That's the biggest thing I ever seen. But what really makes me mad, I still owe on that team. $124 a month, I got 19 months to go.
All right. So I like to try to play a little bit of Bigfoot songs before we get started. So anyway, Zach was supposed to be here tonight, but Zach messaged me at the last minute and said he got tied up into a family dinner, which that's understandable. That's cool. He may, I don't know, there's a chance he may jump on if he gets free. So I'll actually send him a link. Baltimore was going to come on, but I don't know. He made it sound like he was going to come on, but I don't know. I sent him the link too. And I'm not quite sure what's going on with Mr. Baltimore. Yeah, he sounded like he was free. Give me 1 second, guys. So, all right. Now, Fred, I know we had audio issues last time. I see you're muted. Is it still not letting you unmute yourself? All right, wait a minute. Hold on, I guess he's messaging me. Hold on. Sam, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, okay, great. And you sound real good, too. So.
Well, thank you.
All right. Hold on. Let's see what we got going on here. Now, Fred, I sent... Okay, no, actually, that's right. You're on Connie's page. That's right. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember exactly how we did it last time. So, while Fred's getting situated, I did want to go over a couple of announcements, and then there's one thing I was going to get you to talk about, Sam. But first of all, I do want to remind everybody that this weekend, the 15th and 16th, Tracy was planning an outing to get people together to do overnight camp and do some investigation of some area. However, we got a hurricane on the way, so I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be, we maybe end up being washed out for this weekend.
Hey, man, I'm on podcast Daniel Benoit.
So
let me call back. Yeah, go to YouTube, ECBRO 98.
Yeah, I think he was mentioning that we may end up skipping this weekend anyway and waiting for the week later. So that's something we're gonna kind of play by ear, I guess. Coming up next month, we got a couple things going on next month. One is I'm holding the seminar in Waynesboro, Virginia, at the Waynesboro Public Library. That is happening from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Again, that is in Waynesboro, Virginia, at the Waynesboro Public Library. Also, there's another event taking place down in Norton, Virginia. Sam, since the micro team is being featured down there, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind giving everybody some information if you want to fill everybody in about that.
Hey, thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. Yeah, we do. We've got 2 great events in the month of October. The first event will be held in Norton, Virginia on October 5th and 6th. On October 5th, it take place in downtown Norton. Pretty sure it's at their, I guess it's the city hall they have down there. And it's
Oh,
going to
okay.
Yeah, it's going to be at the city hall. We're going to be speaking there. I'm not sure if Bill Lancaster might be showing his movie at the end, but they're going to have some fun things to do. Actually, going to have something really cool that I might use their idea, which is a wood booger calling contest.
Ah,
Yeah, so that's going to be really neat. And then later that night, 12 lucky people get to go out with Matt and I on a night expedition, nothing overnight and not too long. And then again, the following night, 12 lucky people will be able to go out with us.
yeah. Talking about the Sasquatch contest. Actually, I've heard of there is a few others at their different conventions like to do that. Which, if I had planned things out right, I wanted to do that at our event, but we just had so much going on, and it didn't work out that way. But yeah, that'd be cool though. I bet it would probably get a lot of the younger people involved too. The kids will have fun with that. I'm sure the adults will be glad to jump in on that too, just to have fun.
Oh,
So,
yeah. It is. It's going to be great. And then the following night is the event's actually at Flag Rock Recreation Area, which is inside the Wood Booger Sanctuary that they've protected that species within the city limits. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people will be there. A lot of food. A lot of great fun. 5th and 6th, Norton, Virginia.
awesome. Now the Wood Booger Grill. Now are they gonna have a mobile food truck there since they're the one they're putting it on, or they're
Yeah,
farm?
yeah, they're one of the vendors that'll be there. The Wood Booger Grill, excellent food. Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. There's gonna be a lot of different. Uh, so, yeah, October 5th and 6th.
The funny thing is, Sam, I hear a lot of people brag about the Wood Burger Grill, even people from out of state. I live here in Virginia, and I haven't even never been down there. I'm kind of jealous of everybody, man. It's like crap. I need to get down there and try it, and just so I
Yeah,
can say I've been there.
it is. It's an experience. It's a lot of fun. Then you go up, up into the mountains there, right above the interstate, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great time. And
Awesome,
then
awesome.
October 19th, of course, is the 51st anniversary of the PG film. And we always celebrate that every year, October 19th and 20th at the Bays Mountain Park and Planetarium. So that'll be great. Be the Tennessee Bigfoot Conference. So we're kind of fired up. Get to meet the She Squatchers finally.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, because there was something you just said that reminded me of something. Um, oh yeah, the 50th and the 51st anniversary. It seemed like, man, time is like flying by because I
Yeah.
recall back in Norton, was it just last year? It seemed like, yeah, it just happened. It just went by, and I think why it seems like it was just recent. I guess because a lot of people stayed talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
And everybody had a great time down there. I see. Hey, Tracy Arnold is on the live chat. That's awesome. Glad to have you on, Tracy. I would send you a link to join on if you wanted to. Just let me know. So,
Yeah. Good to
um,
hear.
I think Fred, you still having audio issues or? Ah, okay. What did we do last time to get you on here? I don't remember. Somehow you got somehow you were able to get in through another one, and you were able to talk through your phone. Okay, maybe he'll give that a try. Yeah, because the last time he got on here, he had the same issue where it's showing that he's muted, but he can't unmute it from his end for some reason. So he was able to log in through a phone or something and talk through the phone. So, but
So what
there was
about the news? I mean, Well, for
Yes.
down this way, I mean, animals are getting killed left and right. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's another thing I got written down. I know. Are the Monroe County? Is that Monroe County? Is that in Kentucky as well?
Yes.
Okay, and what animal was it? It was a calf, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a calf this time around, which makes logical sense if it's a big cat. Plus, it's in western middle Kentucky, so they're confirmed to be out there. So
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Because I don't. Yeah, this is the Till I saw the link earlier that you shared. This is the first I've heard about the this new killing here, and is it? Yeah, in the
and
news article that you mentioned, is it looking like it is a cat maybe that they're leaning towards, or
that's well, the funny thing is when they first came out with the story, they said they had definitive cat prints. Then they reissue a statement saying that it probably wasn't a cat that did this,
all
possible
right?
possible human. But with the calf this time, the all of the hide is torn off of it.
Hold
Um,
on. Yeah, I'm listening. Fred just tried to call my phone, so hold on. Trying to think how this is gonna work because I heard the call coming through my headphones.
mhm.
I don't know if. Hold on. Hey, all right. I don't know if they'll be able to hear you because I have to leave my headset plugged in. um, Hold on. Let me try this. Hey, go ahead and try to say something, Fred.
I don't hear a thing you're saying.
No, he's not talking yet.
Can you hear me now?
All right, I hear you. Did you hear that, Sam?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, I mean I heard him. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. He said he heard you. It's giving.
Okay. Last time we did it, I think we went through Zach's link.
Trying to think.
Wait,
No, it could
now.
try to. No, I think last time we did it, you had two accounts open. You had yours and Connie's turned on, and you talked through one of them. Yeah, there you go.
All
All
right.
right, Connie's got yours up now.
All right. How about that?
All right, yeah. Let me hang up with you on the phone.
Wait a minute.
All right.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
much better. That's how we did it last time. That worked out great.
All right. Okay. I'm here.
So that way I can keep eye on my live chat.
All right.
Awesome. And there's feedback on the live chat saying they hear you good. So,
All right. Cool.
all right. Uh, oh, Tracy said Bobo is headed there now to look into that report, Sam, down in
Yeah,
Monroe.
right. So yeah, Bobo and Cliff are. Well, I think they've already been there. So
Okay.
uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure they've already been there. But I'd like to know what their thoughts are, and see what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting to hear about that. Um, oh, another thing too. Everybody is still asking me about my hair samples.
Yeah,
Um, Now I just recently got hair samples in the mail from the property owner. All right, the way he did it, because everybody saw the picture of hair. It was a big clump of hair. He said he carefully retracted and was able to pull hairs from the center of that clump to where they shouldn't have been touched by no one or nothing. So hopefully, how he handled them, he put them in some. They're still in the envelope, and I still have to yet to send them down. They're being sent down to North Carolina. So as soon as I get a chance, they will be mailed to the lab that's going to take that on and analyze them. So that should
Yeah.
be interesting.
Now that was from Augusta Springs, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
okay. Well, me and Connie was down there a couple weeks ago, and we actually caught two squatches on our last photographs. We was coming out because we went into the bird sanctuary, and we walked the property line. There's a trail that goes around the property line.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And when we was coming out, it was right before we hit the boardwalk, coming back out. We took a picture of a structure, and we got one about 15 feet away and one about 20 feet away. Standing behind, one was behind a bush and one was behind a tree, looking out clear as a bell. Because when we went in there, we went to our left. Went to our right, and that was the property that the hair was found on. But we stayed off the property, just walked the trail around it.
Right.
It is very, very squatch in there. We will follow. Connie saw a little I think it was like a little 4-footer, little reddish brown one, standing up behind the tree. She glanced. When she turned her head, it was standing. When she looked back, it was missing, but she looked like it looked like it had looked like someone took a brush and combed its hair straight up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, something like that, man. But it's very squatchy in there. I will grant you that.
Well, I'll tell you, Fred, you just while you were sharing that, have you seen the video I recently reshared from back in 2015?
Yeah,
it was
yeah. Where
when me and that girl, yeah, with the title of it was called "Possible Bigfoot or Squatch on the Hill" or something.
Yeah, you did catch 2 squatches that were probably about 35, 40 yards from you.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I personally, I have to look through the whole film. I was just looking at the one that was whatever that was moving on the hill. Because a lot of people were catching the attention of that and claiming only whatever it was only one of them. However, that video footage, since I reshared that, because there's so many new people on my page, it's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah,
and
there were 2 on there.
And the other thing is, like I told people that at first, since I didn't see it clearly to what it was, I was ruling it out as a bear till I shared with them. A lot of people didn't read the description that I put up there, but I explained what happened after that.
Yeah.
Because remember, me and the girl that was with me at the time, we went up further on the trail, and then after we crossed the creek where the trail continues, that's when that big rock comes throwing at me. And when I tried to come out to see where it came from, I didn't see nothing. And I gave off a whoop, and I got a response somewhere in the distance back to where we saw whatever we saw. And
yeah, it's like that video that you did with Squatch with Fred and Connie. You videoed us, and then you panned back about 10 or 12 feet, and you zoomed right in.
Yeah.
About 5 or 10 seconds. And what you did, you zoomed in right on a juvenile Sasquatch sitting there with his knees up, and we looked when you reposted it. We looked at it closer. His whole face was nothing but hair. So he had his head kind of like ducked down a little bit, but you could still see his face.
Yeah.
And everything. But he had a hairy face and everything. So. Like I say, they hide in the open. And that one that you got the first time where that guy was looking at, he was standing in between trees. Because when me and Connie went to the apple orchard the other day, we got 4 or 5 pictures with the same juvenile Sasquatch standing right in the open. Like he wanted to be seen, and everything like that. Because I figured out this time of year, like right now, most of mine's done left except for 1 or 2. And that one that we had in the apple orchard, he made sure we heard him. He was loud. He was stepping on. He was like walking up, like we walked through the woods and we try to be quiet, but we're noisy. That's what he was doing, and we was catching him on film or on our camera and everything.
Right.
But what you had there, you had 2 squatches. You had one back further. You had that one standing right up in that trees up on that hill, but you had one about 10 feet. Little bit to his back further up on the ridge. There were 2 of them. Because I took and went to your well, let me see how did I do that. I took what you showed him, and I took and found it again, and went back and slowed it down, and everything. As far as the photographs, and I started looking, zooming in, backing out, zooming, backing out, and everything. What do you know? It finally did it, and finally it hit him, and you had got two of them. One was shorter, and the one in the front was staying more sideways and kind of turning his head because he had a black face, but the other one kept his back to you more, and you could barely see him in the background, but he was up there. So you had two of them on you that day.
Well, I mean, yeah, because after having, this is my opinion, because after experiencing what we did, I mean, I feel safe to say that we were definitely being watched.
Oh yeah.
And and then even though what we were observing there in the video footage, was a little distant, but at the same time you could tell, I believe it might have been smaller, which. But I but definitely believe there had to been more than one at least. Well, like you said, you mentioned two, so that's to me sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah, because
But
if you go back to the video and go back to that one main picture where it shows the clearest part of him in them tree, because he was you had like three or four trees like clustered together, and he was standing like right up inside there, so you kind of got glimpses of him. But if you take and go back to that spot, kind of clear it up a little bit, but freeze it, and then go back, bring the picture to your left, and then zoom back in further, you'll see another one back there, about 10 or 12 feet. So you actually had two of them.
Hey, what kind of camera was being used here, Daniel?
Oh, on that video footage, that was my old. It was a junky cheap camera phone, and that explains why a lot of it was very shaky. Because I was hands free, trying to hold it still, and I was trying to zoom in. Because you know how to zoom in on a phone, you got to use your fingers on the screen, and that's why there was a lot of shakiness, and that's why a lot of it, like I was trying not to over zoom, because the more I zoomed in, it was really distorting the image, which because even though I was zooming in, when you hold it still long enough, you could see whatever it was moving around, like kind of going up and down in the bushes. But have you had a chance to see that one, Sam? It's I have it posted on my timeline.
Love to see it.
Yeah. When you get a chance, check it out. It's like I said, it was from back in 2015. It seems like it was longer than that, but yeah, it was 2015 when I filmed that, and I had a junky phone, and because most of my phones, I never owned a real expensive phone. But
I hear you.
But my phone I got now seems to do pretty well, because I do a lot of videos with that now. But of course I use my camcorder when I'm out in the woods most of the time. But yeah, like I said, I'll admit it was a little blurry, and as far as the image, looking at the image alone, it was definitely inconclusive, and like I was telling Fred, and I've told others, I was really gonna dismiss it as just no more than just a bear playing up on the up on the hill, but then the other stuff happened after that. Like there was a large rock that got thrown at us when after not seeing nothing, I gave off a whoop, and I got a response. The response came from a little further back, from where almost in the direction where we came walking up from. And walking up that trail, like Fred knows, like the further you go in, it gets a lot thicker because there's a lot of mountain laurel in there. And on one side, it's more of a flat ground and it kind of slopes. But on the right side, in the direction we were looking, there's like a little gully. It drops down and then it goes straight up a hill, going up to a ridge. So, and it's a little thick, but the further you go up on the hill, it does clear up a little bit. So I mean, I don't know. Looking back at that, I do feel convinced that there was something else there. I know a bear ain't gonna throw nothing. A bear is incapable. They don't have that. They don't have the opposable thumb to grip and toss something. But something with hands literally had to take that rock and throw it over there next to us by the creek. So,
yeah, I definitely want to see that video.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, the only sad thing is there's no video footage of the rock being thrown. It's just because that as far as the added story, added that there, I had to tell people what happened after that because it just unfortunately that part the activity didn't get caught on film. So, which I wish it did, but there is you can see if you look carefully there is something moving around up there on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope one day to get some better footage to where I get something actually walking. That would be awesome. That way we could say a little bit. We could have a little bit more. Look, now there's something walking.
Did you
So
did you see that link that this guy named Lowe? He a guy sent him a picture from his back porch where the river was right behind his house, and it's got a Squatch walking across the river.
oh, wait, say that again. There's a where's this at?
In Kentucky, a guy filmed took a picture of a Squatch crossing that river right behind his house. It was a flood, or the water had risen, and he was up to his waist walking across the water.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like
I
to
don't
see
know.
that too.
I don't know if I have seen that.
I'll have to. It was sent. It was on my Facebook.
Is it on your timeline?
I don't know. It might be. I mean, it was.
If it is, yeah. If it is, I could. I might be able to pull that up.
Yeah. What it was the guy was staying in his house or something, and he looked out back and where the river was or where the water had risen and saw a Squatch walking across there. We don't know if it was a 4-footer or a 9-footer. We don't know. It just shows the Squatch walking across the dam. I mean, it might have been just a slough where like a little ravine where the water had risen. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look.
Right.
Because you can see like a path going down from his house going down that way, so it might be a little ravine that had flooded.
You got access to look at that right now, Daniel? I don't.
No, I'm browsing. I'm browsing through his timeline. I'm not seeing nothing right now.
Seems like Kentucky's hot right now.
Well, I tell you what. Let me. I'm on.
Hey, what's his?
Phone right now. So let me bring it up on my phone. I'll send.
Yeah, if you could send me the link to my messenger, if you can.
Yeah. Well, I'll just share it to you. I'll just say share it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. All right.
Yeah, because that way I could play it to where everybody could watch it, and then
we're coming upon the season of squirrels, squirrels and acorns dropping out of the trees coming up.
Oh yeah, squirrel season just came in on the 2nd. On the 1st.
Yeah, I've been out shooting them. I've already got one already.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't. The one I shot didn't have the warble, so I'm lucky on that. But I seen one out here in the road the other day, right behind his left shoulder.
Right.
It was. I mean, you could see where there were so many horse flies in him, or the larvae in him, that it was pushing his skin out.
So that's the good time. The good thing about this time of year, it's good and bad actually. I mean, it's a great time to go out Bigfooting because the underbrush starts dying off, so you can see farther into the woods. But and then it's a double-edged sword where, like I was just saying, the squirrels and the acorns falling out of the tree. It's like, every time you hear something, you're moving, left, right. What was that? So it's kind of. Matt and I last year had gone out, and I don't know if Bill Lancaster is with us or not, but I know my brother and sister-in-law were, and I mean every time you'd hear an acorn fall, you'd look that way and you look that way, and Matt and I kind of decided maybe it's not such a good time when these acorns are falling to really come up here,
Yeah.
But it'd be hard to, I mean, if you hear something heavy walking through the woods, it's not going to sound like an acorn, for number one. But, and again, if something yells. One of the videos that I did get sent to me earlier today was from Tracy Arnold, whom is an awesome researcher. But he had, on one of his videos, and he wanted my honest opinion about it, what I thought it was, and I mountain lion screaming, and but it's pretty cool how he didn't throw out like, hey, I think it's a Bigfoot. What do you think? Like, no preconceived notion of what it was.
Right.
What was my honest opinion on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this mountain lion thing is really starting to take effect in our area, and I think a lot of people are starting to get, kind of getting wind of, these cats are here.
But the other thing too, think about mountain lions. I do believe they may be a little bit more abundant than your area between yours and Tracy's because,
Yeah.
well, the other thing is too, there's not just your normal game down there. One thing that's more down there than if we have them up here, I haven't seen them. But as far as the elk,
Mm-hmm.
they have elk as an extra addition to their menu. So they got
True.
elk, deer, and
You
of course
have
all the
to,
other small rodents. But
Daniel, you have to go up on Loft Mountain side of the Parkway. That's where you'll find majority of them at. Right there at I go to Bobcat Overlook. That overlooks Waynesboro.
oh
That's the
yeah,
part you got to pay on. You go up in there, and that area between right there at Bobcat Overlook all the way around to Elkton is a hot spot for mountain lions.
hmm.
I've seen black ones. I've seen brown ones. But that was years ago. When I was married, before I married Pat, I had a phone and I had like over 300 pictures of mountain lions that I had got up on that mountain and everything. What the hell was it? I ain't found that damn thing yet. But
I think
we do have them here in Virginia, and they are up on the Parkway. They're not so much here they're here in the valley, but they're very elusive. They're around here. They would be nocturnal, if you want to call it that.
yeah. Hey, I think Nikki just found that video. She sent me something.
Thank you, Nikki. Haven't heard that in a while. Haven't heard her name. Nikki Cohen.
Yeah,
Nikki
she's on the live
Cohen.
chat.
Hey, Nikki.
Cohen. What the hell? I can't find it now.
Okay, it's a photograph. I thought it was a video, but yeah, I'm trying to enlarge it right now, and then I'll do a screen share here.
So this is a photograph of something
Yeah.
walking in the river. Okay.
Oh, good. Okay, she found it. Fine. But yeah, it's supposed to be. It said it was. It shows something walking across it. That's it right there. Now, if you can zoom it.
Yeah, I have no way to zoom in. I already enlarged it the best I can.
Yeah. Now you see where the path is going down?
Yeah.
You see him? Now, if a bear was going to cross her, a bear would not walk.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because bears would. Yeah, I seen what bears look like going in the water. That's something definitely bipedal right there.
Yeah.
And it definitely looks like it's a flooded creek. That to me looks like an ATV trail.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Boy, it looks, yeah. But the problem is, how deep is it and how tall is it? That's the question. Is it going downhill or is it going straight?
Yeah.
I agree with you on that, Fred.
Because it looks like a slot. It looks like like you said, either a dry creek bed that's swollen, or it might be like a little ravine. Like a little ditch area that's natural made, and we don't know how tall it is. That's about the main thing of it. That's what I'm seeing.
And who did this come from again?
It comes from.
I don't know. I see Bigfoot evidence posted it. I don't know.
Posted this?
It's outside of a lake house in Kentucky.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't, when somebody posting it as, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody just posting it, not.
That is very interesting.
It is very interesting, actually, man. It's very interesting.
Because you can see where it's either left arm or it's right arm. He's got it, up. Like a girl walks, you got her arm up like that. Yeah. Looks like he's trying to keep his elbow, like his arms out of the water.
Yeah, you can see that.
So dang, I wish this person would have did a video or took pictures or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I see people comment and said that's not a bear. Uh,
Man, that's a good picture here. I mean, it's really questionable. Like, it's really got me scratching my head.
you know, then again, it's always going to be inconclusive because what's the possibility of, hey, somebody say, hey, get in this Bigfoot costume and go out there and let me take this photo.
True.
And then, we don't know if that's the case, but, whoops, what did I do?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to know who posted that video.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Zach
Yeah,
wants.
Very, very intriguing.
Yeah, when it was sent to me, it was by, I can't remember the guy's first name, but his last name was Lowe, Lowe.
That's one of the most interesting pictures I've seen in a while. Which stands to reason. I mean, point, Daniel, about somebody getting in there. I mean, you'd have to ruin $100 costume, or who's to say you got the whole thing on, or what it is. It could just be brown, but very intriguing.
Oh, we're in trouble, guys.
Wow.
Zach's here.
Hey.
Oh, he's on the road.
Hey, Zach.
Not much. Just got out of supper. I'm driving home. I thought I'd join the party.
Well, glad you can make it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's the name? Must be sleeping or something. I sent Baltimore earlier, but I don't know what Baltimore must not be able to get on. So.
Hey, Daniel, did Baltimore show you that bear skull and jaw we sent him yet?
No.
Well, we sent him remember a couple of years ago I told you me and Connie found a complete bear skeleton, a young bear, and we got the head and the jaw and everything.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, well, that's what we sent Baltimore.
Very cool.
Yeah, he said if you want to make the bones the skull look like it's aged and everything, he said boil it in coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he told you and me about whenever he did it, aged his necklace. He just said put it in coffee.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. What was I going to say? Yeah, well, since we got you on here, Zach, what's new with you? I know you said you weren't feeling too well.
Yeah, just my heart giving me trouble. We worked a lot of hours today. We worked till about an hour and a half ago. But no, there's actually I got turned in a Bigfoot report just the other day. This friend of mine that we've had him on a podcast before, Brian Jeffries, sent in a report to me down by Cade Lake by Johnson's Creek. There was a man that was out jugging and he saw one up on the bank. And he took pictures of the print and he sent it to me, and he's measured that print out to be about 18 inches long.
Interesting. Blue Ridge Bigfoot said, Category 4 or 5 barreling through Southern Virginia in the next few days.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
On Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be all over the place.
Oh, my, yeah. Well, he, with that being said, he actually asked a question. All right, Sam's going to jump off and go pick up his daughter. All right, Sam. He did ask a question, and then he says, "Where do Bigfoot go?" Then he goes on to say, "I imagine high winds and heavy rain would take out most temporary shelters." Oh yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question, Daniel.
Yeah.
Being in your area and being in my area, when they migrate and they hit the Parkway and the Appalachian Trail, which way do you think they go? You think they go up toward New York, or you think they go down toward North Carolina to migrate?
Well, if they're going to go that far, if they're forced to go that far, I would have to say, honestly, I would probably say down to North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm basically saying
Um,
the same thing. Yeah, because a lot of
but
people ask me a question, and I'm like, I cannot answer that because I don't know,
yeah,
and I don't. I have no idea. I mean, we got caves here in the valley, but some of them you can get in, some of them you can't. Do they migrate there? We don't know. I have no idea. But I do know
I've
that the first week of spring they're back in the birthing areas. I do know that much. But where they go, I have no idea.
well, I mean, I personally think. I mean, I don't know if they really. Maybe over a period of time, I think they do travel long. But when it comes to weather conditions and the seasons, I do believe they stay somewhat close, but not. I mean, not. I shouldn't say close, but I do believe they move into other areas where it may provide better shelter for them and better coverage. But I mean, I don't know. That's my personal opinion, but like there's that theory: do Bigfoot go on the ground? I absolutely do believe that because I believe there's a lot of caves and structures that we don't know about. That they do.
Well, it's like in Connie's area, like her uh, kinfolks owned a strip mine,
Yeah,
and there is a boatload of caves that were covered over when they started logging and everything, and rearranged everything. But
yeah.
she was down this one area in the wintertime. Matter of fact, it was that you remember that picture that she showed one time down her secret area where she caught them squatches running all around her,
Oh,
and she
okay,
caught
yeah,
her on print. Okay, there was a pipe near there, and she stuck her and she seen it, and she put her hands over it, and it was heat coming out.
yeah.
Now I don't know if
Oh,
the squatch.
yeah.
Yeah. Now here's the other question: do squatches build fires?
Honestly, yeah. That's I- I've been in that. I've had that question asked before. I
Mm-hmm.
personally, I personally don't believe they do. Don't believe they do. Only reason is if they did, then they're going to give their location away. Um,
Unless they're in a cave, a deep cave, because we have some deep caves here in the valley, but you got to go to the library and get the book to find them.
yeah.
Everything, stuff like that. Like today, where I was at today, when you're headed toward Craigsville, you got that little restaurant on your left hand side called Denny's.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Okay, go about 100 yards down and you'll see the guardrail. Take that right and go down that little trail. It takes you to a parking area and go back up in there. Now, when I was back in there today, I heard two set of rock clocks. I heard a three, then a two, and then I stopped at a creek because I knew it was to my left, and I tapped three times, two times, and then one time, and didn't hear enough. So I got up and started walking further. I was squirrel hunting, and I heard movement, and I looked to the left, and I saw two 4-foot black ones follow me. But when I got up in the area, or this one area, I got to take you up in there one day, man. This place is gonna blow your mind. When I got up in
Hmm.
there and I started, this is where I got all them photographs today. All day, well, most of the time, the whole time I was up in that area, you could hear them move. They were throwing rocks at me and letting me know that they are around. They was not hesitating on the tiptoeing. They were stomping. I mean, hard stomping. They were. I heard a couple times. I heard it would sound like samurai chatter. I heard that a couple times, But they kept throwing rocks at me. I must have had about 100 rocks thrown at me today, and I just like, okay, you're throwing rocks at me, big deal. And I kept on doing what I was doing, And they did that until I left that area.
Hmm.
Because you got to go about a quarter mile back in on that trail. What it does, it takes you to the back end of the lower tower on Elliott's Knob on Little North Mountain.
And where was it again? You said you go past the Denny's old Denny's restaurant.
As soon as you pass it, you'll see a guardrail on your right hand side with a yellow plate on it.
Yeah.
There's a driveway right there. Just turn in that driveway and follow it straight on back.
Hmm.
Goes back about, I don't know, probably about the length of a football field, and then you'll see a gate. There's a parking spot right there. You just pull into or pull up and back into. Then you go through the gate, and it takes you all the way up to the back end of Little Elliott's Knob radio tower. You got lower tower and the upper tower. The upper tower is on top of Little North, but you're going up Elliott's Knob to get to the lower one. That's where that trail takes you. And
Yeah.
everything, and it's going up that way.
Interesting.
I mean, once you get up in there, and where I take you, I mean, you can just stand there and just see the structures. I mean, it's like I was like, wow.
Yeah, yeah, because I know just driving through that area, every time I drive through that area, before getting to the area, you could just see how thick it is through there. I mean, a lot of woods right in through there.
Well, I saw a boatload of bear signs, as far as the scat and their paw prints, and everything. I
Oh
seen a
yeah.
boatload of them, and
Well,
mainly they was crossing that trail. They was crossing it. It's a little logging road.
right. And you know what's another thing that's interesting about that whole side of the road over there on the same side as Denny's restaurant?
Yeah, it's got the shooting range. That
Yeah,
hunting.
well, yeah. On the other side, you got the railroad tracks,
Yeah.
and there's like there's a couple different power line systems that run through those areas,
Yeah.
and which is interesting because we always hear about how squatches will travel those kind of areas.
Yeah, they do. They travel the power lines so thick because, like up in Kennedy Fields area or the coal roads, you see where the power lines run through. And if you go up to the power line, a lot of people go up there and hunt. But if you
Yeah,
stand up there at nighttime with the night vision,
yeah,
you could see them crossing they're crossing that power line and walking up down the power line.
right.
But it's so thick up there, to get there. That's the bad part about it.
Yeah, the one area you're talking about, that yeah, it's a old logging road, old mountain road that takes you up to the top of the mountain there. There's a gate right there. It stays closed, but it opens up during the hunting season. Is that where you're talking about in that general area?
No, when you come in through Shandor Acres, you get to the Y, take a
Oh,
left.
okay. I'm still
Take,
talking about. Yeah, I'm still thinking about down off out towards Augusta Springs area.
all right, the one off Augusta Springs. If you go by Denny's and just keep going, you'll come down a hill and you'll hit a wide open space with fields on both sides of a big farm. You'll
Yeah,
see
that's it.
all right. You turn, you take a left there. That's the Hunter's Access Trail.
Right, exactly. And it takes you. That's a little part of Little North Mountain, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that's why I was planning on going tomorrow.
Yeah, because some friends of ours took us up there one time, and I didn't know nothing about it till a friend of ours came by and he was showing us pictures of this. He's kind of a skeptic, but he found something up there he thought was interesting. It was all the way to the top,
Yeah,
and it looked really fascinating. The structure that he showed us, and after we got up there and we went into the area where he showed us, and we found it, and it was I was honestly hoping it to be something different, but you could see clearly how it was one of those man-made ground blinds, like how they do in certain parts on the coal road,
yeah,
where they.
like the one there's one on the left. Me and Connie stopped and looked at it. At first we thought it was Squatch made. Then we started looking at it. And we started seeing wire tied on the
Oh
corners.
yeah,
It's like,
because the
it's a
one I saw,
man-made thing.
yeah, because they take the trees and make like a corner like this, and then yeah, they'll do like this here with the sticks, and they'll
Yeah,
the ground was kind of cleared out, and you can see a big flat rock where somebody must have been sitting there. So, but yeah, that's what he was showing us. So, and I was like, man, I really wish this was something else because you know if it wasn't for the cleared out area where if the ground wasn't cleared out and if there wasn't a rock there, I probably would have thought differently. But yeah, it was right there off the side of the forest road. You got to walk into the woods a little ways, but it was overlooking kind of a down below was a hill where I guess there was game trails where the deer passed through there.
yeah.
But yeah,
But I tell you, when you have rocks thrown at you for an hour straight, that's irritable as hell.
man, yeah, that's definitely telling you to get out of Dodge.
Well, the thing was, they wanted me out, but I believe it was the juveniles that was throwing the rocks, because they started throwing rocks as soon as they hit the top of that hill. Because
Right.
I had to take a right off the trail and go kind of like up like this, and then hit the top. And right when I hit, I mean, they could have drilled me anytime they wanted, man. They would just let me know, like, hey, you're in my area, and then you hear them walking. You hear samurai chatter. But the way they were walking was really heavy. It was like they mean what they say, but I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Because up there when I was staying in Kentucky, Connie was at her house one night, and we was camping up there in the pines, and I'm sitting there at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm hearing what sounded like a car. I'm like, or a truck trailer. You know, it was like. I'm like, is that a car or what? Well, I stood up and looked behind the tent and didn't see nothing. So I turned my head to my left and I used my peripheral vision. And about 28, say about 10, 15 feet behind the tent, there was a Squatch standing behind some pine trees, and he moved just enough where I could see the light.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, okay, big deal, you ground at me. I turned around and sat down, and you could hear him, and he stomped off. And I think it's the one that I showed Connie that night. We was at her private spot where I said, I see you, and he stomped off like a 2-year-old. But if you ever have one watching you at nighttime trying to be slick, and you bust him, and you say, I see you, they act like a 2-year-old. They do. They act like a 2-year-old, man. That's the comical part of it.
Yeah, I just refreshed my live chat. Taylor and Tate from the North Carolina Squatch Watchers, they mentioned, well, I guess when we were talking about the underground thing, they mentioned that we ran across what we think is a tunnel system with down trees over gullies. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Blue Ridge Bigfoot story. He said, talking about another Kentucky story. He said, I've heard of another piece to the Kentucky story. He said there were 18 ducks and over a dozen chickens missing from the property in the past few weeks. Yeah, I think that was, I believe, I'm assuming he's referring to the same location where the other, where the horses were killed and the dogs.
Well, we know it's not a cat.
Yeah.
Because a cat goes for the neck, and you got shred marks. It was a horse, a calf.
Yeah. I think there was like 2 horses. One was like I think one was a miniature horse, if I'm not mistaken.
But did they find anything on the animals?
Well, this is from what I read about the article on the investigation. It's up to the property or the animal owners. They could do I guess it's kind of like a DNA test. They could do a test on it to find out exactly what did it. But it would cost them money to do it. So that's if they were concerned enough, if they're having a problem, I would think that they would actually find out what the heck's going on, so they could maybe eliminate it. If it is a predator like a cat, they could probably prepare for it, or at least maybe set out some game cameras to catch it, and maybe deal with it that way. But
yeah, I've seen what cats can do to a calf over in Highland County. It's not pretty.
Now, Blue Ridge Bigfoot, or maybe you could enlighten me on this. There's some of it I don't remember about the story here, but wasn't there any lacerations or any of the throats bit into or cut out on any of those animals?
That was never mentioned. They just said they were dead. You know?
Oh, okay. Because I know
there were some of them that looked like they said they was drowned because it was 3 ponies and a dog, and 2 of the ponies were floating in the pond.
Okay, that's all right. I remember that part. Yeah.
I had to really think about what case you were talking about before I said anything.
Oh yeah. Jim Jerkin said Sheriff Ford said it wasn't a cat. Well, at least that's what they believe it wasn't.
Well, it had to be something big enough to drown a horse.
Well, that's interesting because if they weren't originally in the water and they found them floating, you would think they would have been killed on the spot, or maybe were they drugged to the water?
And I know a bear takes and shreds them. I know that. But most predators go for the neck. All cats go for the neck.
Yeah, exactly.
If there's no puncture wounds, but yet they got drowned, what is big enough to drown a horse?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
Blue Ridge Bigfoot said there were 4-inch claw marks on one of the animals. 4-inch claw marks. Could that have been a swipe of
or 4 inches long?
I'm assuming long. He didn't say, but I'm assuming long. I guess like if an animal is kind of or swipe.
Well, when a cat hits you, hits an animal, they got 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 4 to 5 marks coming down. You
Yeah,
got to think their toes and everything. And a
right,
bear would be the same way, but a bear, would leave deeper. Question is, are they right on top, or are they how far are they sunk into the hide and the
right.
meat?
Because a bear, I don't see a bear, especially here on the East Coast. Black bears, we know they're one of the least aggressive animals.
Yeah, unless
Unless
you kill some
unless you got a
monster.
rogue black bear roaming around that area, that's like because I know black bears compared to grizzlies are like, especially according to Native Americans, the black bear is considered the good spirit, and the grizzly being because they're mean and aggressive, is like the evil spirit. So
Yeah, because every time I go squirrel hunting or something like that on the coal roads, and as you know, a bear runs in the 3 pattern, and every time
yeah,
I would go down this one certain hollow, I could hear the bear run wide open, getting away from me. And I can't even see where he's at. The only thing I hear is something running. So when
yeah.
they smell you, they're gone. And
All
that's
right,
that's something people's got to realize. Just because, like going back to Squatch and everything, just because you see a Squatch and they say it's a bear, or you show them a
yeah,
picture, it's a bear. That is the simplest thing that they can comprehend. Then you ask them, where's the ears at?
yeah. All right, now check. Well, here, check this out. Jim Jerkins added that they did have claw marks on the neck. So,
Ooh.
but then again, we were just talking about the cats. Well, how both a cat and a bear, their claw swipes could be similar. But then again, to me, I mean, tell me what you think. But to me, this sounds like it's pointing. Even though the sheriff said it wasn't a cat, I mean, really, what does the sheriff know? He's not a wildlife biologist. He's not the Department of Game. To me, this just sounds like it's relating to a cat. Like cats go for the neck. I mean, it must have been trying to cling on to do its
Yeah,
attack.
yeah, because they would cling on and try to bite the esophagus.
Yeah, or the
That's
juggle,
the
whatever
first
they
thing you
call
look
that.
for is the
Yeah,
esophagus. So even though if they found claw marks on both sides of their neck, right there at the shoulder,
right.
and because if you ever watched the lions in Africa when they go after a water buffalo or go after a
Exactly.
lion, they they, they pounce with their if they're going for their neck, they use their front claws, and the bottom half bounce around like a yo-yo. But
Yeah,
they always bite the esophagus just
yeah,
to suffocate them.
yeah. Jim Jerkins is adding, which we brought that up earlier, Jim, about the other kill that happened today, the calf. That happened down in Monroe.
What if? Well, was there any of the meat taken from the? I haven't studied up on the case. What if this is a creature that's just killing for the hell of it?
It almost
Road.
sounds like it.
It sounds
They're
like it's
only
just killing for sport.
yeah, because
Let me throw
go
this
ahead.
out.
Yeah, go ahead, friend.
How about a dog man?
I was waiting
I
for
was
that to
about
get
to
bring
say
up.
that. What if we ain't?
I'm surprised you didn't say that sooner, Fred.
I just do it out
Well,
there. Just see
Kentucky
whatever
is
happens.
Well, all right.
Kentucky is known for Dogman in LBL, but then what if we're dealing with a Wampus cat? Just
Well,
saying.
What is
now
a
think
wampus cat?
it's like a giant. It's like a panther, but real huge, like a
Oh, okay.
monster.
Well,
Yeah,
it's old Native
Yeah.
American lore, but there's been reports of a creature that roams around Kentucky that resembles the reports of a Wampus cat.
All right, let me give you a little hint here. Connie's dad and his brother or cousin something, they used to raise hogs, and Connie's dad never talked about this, and he got mad at Connie for something like that. But he said him and his cousin or brother were doing something, and he had two 300-pound hogs.
hmm
He said they heard the hogs squeal, and they ran down there with their guns, and they seen something with hogs underneath each arm. And when
Oh
they went
wow,
to approach it, it turned and looked at them and growled. It was an 8-foot dog man,
wow.
and her dad would not talk about it. He said Connie said he turned white just thinking about it.
He talks about it the night they saw it. That's bad. He wouldn't talk about it no more.
Well,
Now I want to read a comment that Tracy Arnold says on the live chat, and this is very interesting. And of course, Donald Trussell goes on to say, "Good question." Tracy said, "But why did the game officially say it was a cat, and then they say they were shot? Why would they change the story?"
Easy, so they don't cause such a ruckus amongst the community.
Yeah.
Bingo.
They're covering shit up.
Yeah, I think Zach hit that right on the spot. That makes a lot of sense because they don't want people to freak out.
Well, because here's the thing, I compared, because in the last 12 years out here, we've had killings similar to that happened in Monroe County, Kentucky, right here in Williamson County in the last 12 years, 3 of them, exact same way. All the animals have been killed, and no meat was taken. It was just bite marks and claw marks.
Yeah.
Now I know certain times of the year wolves will do that. A single wolf, like a big male, like he's too old to be with the group, so he wanders off, and he's just aggressive, and he'll kill just for the sport of it and leave them.
So will a mountain lion.
Yeah.
Because.
And let me ask you guys something. I think I asked this a long time ago, some years ago. All right. And anybody on the live chat, please feel free to throw your input in. All right. I know on occasions, we all come across dead animal bones, deer remains. There's been a few occasions where I've come across deep in the woods the whole carcass of a deer. Now here's something interesting I found about out of all the ones I found, 2 had something similar, but they were in 2 totally different locations, far apart. And, all right, this is out there by Elkhorn, Fred.
All right.
The snout of the deer on the skull, both of them were gone, like ripped off.
Yeah.
The skull, everything was there, but the snout was ripped off. Could that have been Could that have been a coyote, or could that have been a cat? Maybe. Now I do know there's mountain lions out there because we've seen that one, and then I've gotten a bobcat on my camera, but bobcats, the ones I gotten on my camera, I don't know, maybe they're big ones out there, but I had a small one on my trail camera one time.
A coyote, that's very doubtful, because they're more, they go for the caboose. A coyote will start at the ass end and work forward.
Right.
Now, a bear will attack a deer like a fawn or a yearling or maybe a 2-year-old doe that's sick or something.
Yeah.
And they will chomp and take off the front, and let it go, and they'll go get it later. They'll let it die.
Yeah.
I have seen that. But in a cat, you still find, you'll find they start from the neck and work down. So you'd find the esophagus ripped out or chunks of it ripped out. So
a big cat will kill just to kill.
Yeah. Yeah, but they go for the esophagus, so right here.
Yeah, because one was probably a small doe, judging from because keep in mind it was nothing but the skeleton, the skeleton carcass. But one was a doe and one was a young buck. So yeah, because the buck, you could tell it was a young buck. It still had the little butts coming out of its antlers. But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, look at that rock. Look at that rock. Look at that 10-point rock I found up behind the camp at one time up there on the Coal Road. Me and you camped at one time.
Oh yeah, you went up there. You heard a big tree. The tree snap.
Yeah, and there was right there at the base of the tree. There was that 10-point skull with the. I think it had the jawbone with the 2. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
but it was fresh killed. And why was it laying there at the base of the tree? Because it was an old rotten apple tree.
Right.
Is what it was. It's a lot of weird stuff.
I put you on the big screen, Fred, because Blue Ridge Bigfoot is asked, is Fred doing an impression of the Invisible Man? Well, I'll explain why he's got. It's he's got.
I gotta get a set of headphones.
Yeah, because he's got his. Actually, they're both on the Connie's name on here.
Yeah.
Because I thought one. Yeah, he's got 2 things opened up. Because one was, his headphones, you can't get audio, and the other one, you can't unmute it, the other profile. So, That's why we got him on here like that.
Mhm.
So,
Until I get a set of headphones.
like, what's
I
woolly
mean,
booger mean? 10 points. You all cheat, counting both sides. That's the way it's supposed to be. If you got 5 on one side, you got 5 on the other. That's a 10-pointer, right?
yeah.
So that's the way it's always been, as far as I know. But oh,
Like, uh,
oh, see,
well, see, a lot of people who live out of state and around the country doesn't realize exactly what the Shenandoah Valley has.
yeah,
I've seen an 8-foot dog man one time, and I've got a photograph of a juvenile dog man.
yeah,
First time and the only time I've ever seen him. And
mm,
I never thought. I always thought it was Wisconsin or wherever out there, wherever up that way it has them. Only had them up there. I've seen that
yeah.
one time. I had my 17 Super Mag, and I heard something. I thought it was a Squatch. I turned around and looked up the ridge to my left, and I just seen from the neck up, and I seen what they looked like, a gray wolf face.
Well, and Fred, let me ask you this, because when it comes to Dogman, other people ask me the same thing. And I was honest with them, but I'm a skeptic when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit. I've done very little research on it, but as far as Dogman, all right, I'm asking to somebody that wants to know, because I try to gather information on things if I want to understand things a little bit better. So when it comes to the Dogman, is that something that's been around just as long as Bigfoot's been? Because we got history of Bigfoot. There's Native Americans got their documents. And then there's even in pre-Columbus times, there's been stories back there in pre-Columbus times. And of Bigfoot, and Bigfoot's been a history not just in the United States, but in Asia and other countries. But as far as Dogman, what's the history on Dogman, or what do you know that you could share as far as how far back does Dogman date?
Dog man that I've read up on, it was in England or around that area, back in the 1200s. I guess I'm just taking a guess on that one. Been back
Yeah,
that far, and of course, everybody has their depiction of what it looks like. Now, the one that I saw, if you watch the Scott Carpenter video where he had that one about 4 foot behind him,
I think I
what you
recall the
see,
video you're talking about. I've seen
what
that.
you
Yeah,
seen what you seen was a wolf head. Now he's got video and photographs of it when he first saw it. He's got
yeah,
one photograph of it up on the side of a tree with his claws dug in the tree.
yeah,
Now, the way they look and the one that I saw, now I can't be precise on the way his neck down looked, but from what I understood by other witnesses, like I had a lady. Matter of fact, I sent you quite a few photos. That lady up in it was upstate New York. That she had one. I showed one right next to a tractor. They had one stand out in the open, and it looked like the kind you see on the TV. It looked something like that. You know,
yeah.
but uh, my research takes me back to the 12th century. As a superstition, but then the superstition come out to be true. Now there people here in the last 25 to 30 years have seen, like young kids are out in the woods, teenagers are goofing around, and they see 4 of them drinking water. They be quiet and they back away. And they say they look like a dog body, but they're standing. And they got
Mm,
the paws. Scott Carpenter showed a footprint that was 11 inches long. It had the toes of a dog, but the foot length was 11 inches. And Scott wears a size 12 boot, and it was almost long as his boot
mm,
of a dog man track. So, as far as the legends, it goes back thousands of years,
mm.
and like back to Salem time or back before that, But hell, Leif Erikson was the first one who seen a Sasquatch.
Yeah,
He
Leif
said, I seen
Erikson.
something.
Yep. Of the
Yeah, and
he's
I think
what
it
do you
was like
call him?
964 AD, and he was a
Yep.
Viking. And
Yeah, that's a Viking. That's the word.
where he seen that at was Delaware.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to when I said the pre-Columbus days, because people don't realize there was people here before Columbus. A lot of people don't realize that. You know.
Actually, Columbus was not the one to discover America.
Yeah,
Leif
exactly.
Erikson was. So
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, they named Mr. Americo Vespucci, which actually landed before Columbus in Florida. Um.
exactly.
Yeah, that's who they named America after, Americo Vespucci, which But a lot of people don't realize all history. They don't dig deep enough in history. We learned that. Well, that there, I was actually surprised to learn that in history one time in school, because when I came back and told my parents, no, know what it was? My parents, they love watching Jeopardy, and I was sitting there watching Jeopardy one time, and it came up, and it's like I got up, I knew it shot in my head. I was like, Americo Vespucci, that's his name. I said that's who America was named after. And like, how'd you know that? So I learned it in school. I mean, I love my history. I learned, I always paid attention to history in my government classes. I mean, those are things I've always, had interest, and so yeah. But that little bit of information, I'll never forget that. If it's one thing I learned in school, I knew who America was named after.
Yeah. But
So
the main thing is that every dog man that everybody sees looks identically the same, as far as the dog body
yeah.
standing up
Well,
and everything.
I do got to give you that, because a lot of people are, consistent with the description of a dog man. Now, do you believe in some cases that when people think they saw a dogman, could it be a misidentification of a squatch that may have a possible snout, kind of
Well,
like the
you have
baboon?
all right. Take the creature from Seven Shoots,
Yeah,
the
the
one that's
one that
holding the
looked like,
white, the one
yeah,
that's holding look like it's holding a dog. All right, that looks like a dog man, but yet it looks like a squatch because they got a goat man, you know, weird looking, but I don't know. I think that's just bull crap,
yeah.
But
I'm not really into the
the
goat man
creature
thing.
of Seven Shoots
Yeah,
has it looks like the body, it looks like a slim body of a Sasquatch.
right.
Now, over the years, I've learned, and by watching videos and talking to people, everything that the Squatches do have a form of a dog man that is or dog women, if you want to call it that babysit the Squatches, the little
Yeah.
Squatches, something like that. And I've heard that. That's back when I was with Shane Bradbury and Melissa Adair and all them, And
Hmm.
some guy come on and start saying it, and I started watching his videos, and these people, I mean, it's all across the United States that they're talking about. Certain clans or certain tribes of Sasquatches have female dogmen watching their what they call caretakers. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what was told to me, and that's what I, understood from talking to different people,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's really hard to tell. But a lot of people has been it, Wisconsin, Delaware have got them more up there than they do anywhere else. Now
Yeah.
here in
Because
Virginia, I guess it won't pass through. I don't know. I got lucky and seen one.
yeah.
He went one way and I went the other way. I didn't pay no more attention.
Hmm.
Then one day I'm out up there where I took your dad turkey hunting when I first took him up there. I walked up in there and I'm taking pictures of structures. And you remember Candy Canada from Canada, that blonde haired chick from Canada?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, she sent me a picture back. She said, "Look what you caught." I said, "What?" And she circled it. And what it was a juvenile dog man, but it had the head, the nose, the poof, everything of a poodle.
Hmm.
And I'm like, "There's no poodles back here." Well, I went back the next day, and I found you can see where it was on its knees, and you can see where its back toes were dug into the ground. And I found front paws and rear paws, but there was knee prints in the ground right next to the tree,
Hmm.
behind the tree. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, you know. But I've been, I go back there every time I go to that same spot, and I look at that same spot, and I go back there, and I'm trying to figure, did I see or did I catch what I thought I catch? Someone said I did. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But as far as the 8 footer, yeah, I did see one, the only one, and I don't care to see another one. If I
Yeah.
do, I'm gonna put a bullet in it. That's all I know.
Hey,
But I do know.
let's
But I
switch
do
gears
know.
just a little bit and talk about another cryptid. There's
Uh,
you don't really hear much mention of other cryptids on very rare occasions. Like, for example, I'll throw one random out right here. With the lizard man. You ever hear much about stuff like that? The lizard
no,
man.
I don't.
I personally don't believe in a lot of these other ones. I mean, I mean,
Talk
I
aloud,
believe in the
white man.
chupacabra. I believe in that. I believe there's something out there that resembles what people are describing as a chupacabra. I believe that's
Uh,
very simple to
well,
understand.
a lady in Texas killed a chupacabra. It had blue eyes. It had looked like little ass pads on his ass, and she got it stuck. But she had the DNA done. You know what the chupacabra is?
What?
It's a Texas coyote mixed with a Mexican wolf.
Really? They must get mange because a lot of them are seen without hair, right? So it must be
Yeah,
like a mange.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because down in Texas, see, a buddy of mine, my buddy Joe, he drives with a guy who lives in Texas, and he's killing coyotes all the time. It's got mange all year round. So
Wow.
you take the coyotes and the wolves in Mexico are about the size of a red wolf here. So you
Hmm.
breed them, and he gets mange. I don't know. It's a kind of a defect, if you want to call it that. But the lady who had it done, uh, it come back coyote, Texas coyote, and a Mexican wolf.
Hmm. Tracy mentions right here in the New River Valley, there are reports of them down there around the New River, but it's only in the summertime is when reports come in.
Hmm, that's
That's
interesting.
interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah,
You know,
because to see the red wolves or the red wolves, the gray wolves, or the timber wolves we have here in the valley, you got to go up toward the parkway to see them
yeah.
because they stay high and
Hmm.
everything. But yet the coyotes are breeding. Now I found out that the coyotes are, if everybody knows, they was breeding with the red wolves. Now they're breeding with the reds and the gray wolves. So
I be-
coyotes are getting some big sizes on them now.
yeah, I definitely believe that. I believe that 100%. Because the one time it was during broad daylight in the morning hours between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. There was one time when I was camping on the down there out there where I camp. I was actually camping in a different spot, not in the spot I normally do. But I had just came out of the campsite. I was in my van because I rode down to where I was camped at. I had rode down to the bathhouse and came back up, and I drove past the camp or where I was camping at just to ride up the road just to look around in the van, and I seen a deer shoot across the road, and then just seconds later, here comes this coyote. But the thing is, when I saw it, I was like, what the heck? That wasn't your average. That thing was not little, but I had a good look at it, and when I got in range to go check it out, I saw the colors. I looked up coyote and I looked up the wolves. I said, there's a coyote and a gray wolf. They look spitting. They're a spitting image.
How
I
about a
said,
coy dog?
well, it could have been, yeah, it could have been a coy wolf, like a hybrid.
Yeah,
So, because I mean, it was gray and it had the black tip tail, just like a lot of your average coyotes.
yeah,
But
yeah.
this one here was very large. It was like a German Shepherd size. I'm thinking that could have been it could have been purebred. It could have been a wolf. But
Well,
it wasn't.
in your area, there are more red and gray wolves down low because of the lake. They come down and they watch that lake for deer. And as you know,
Hmm.
we had that black cat that crossed the road right behind us, right there in front of that bridge.
Yep.
Because that was tonight we heard the two squatches that was mimicking the barred owl, and since 80, well, from 85 to 87 when I was researching up there, I've seen four. I've seen two reds and two grays on the back half of Elkhorn,
Hmm.
and they were just the gray was about maybe 40 pounds bigger than the red.
Right.
But, You know, so yeah, you got both of them up there, and they do breed. Now I know the coyotes breed with the reds and the grays now, and the one I saw a couple of years ago up behind my camper when me and your dad and you was hunting up there, I just went up in there and he was I whistled and everything. He was like a dog on a mission, man. He was about 110 pounds,
Mm.
but it looked like a German Shepherd, but it was a coyote. You
Yeah.
know? But here's another thing. A lot of people are talking about this, and I have seen it once or heard it once. Squatches, every once in a blue moon, will kidnap a coyote pup and raise it.
No, I've heard that before. I
And
believe it probably was from you. I heard that from.
and 2 years ago, when I killed a doe, I shot my first doe with my crossbow. And while I was sitting there, it was still daylight. I heard a pack of coyotes, and they was on the warpath or something, you know. But in all them coyotes, I heard one that was more bass.
Right.
So it might have been a squatch running with a pack. Because, see, up there in my area, right up behind the camp in Kennedy Fields area, I got 2 dens of coyotes.
Oh yeah, I remember one time waking up at camp right there on the Coal Road. Because the only time I've heard tons of coyotes up there, and usually they're at night. But I remember one time waking up. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. I was waking up, and I was like, "What the heck?" I make sure I was still in my tent, but I said, "Man, it's daylight." I said, "What the heck is that?" The coyotes up behind camp, going off in a pack. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Wow." I said, "That's the first I've heard them in daylight."
Yeah.
So,
But if you want to see more squatches up there, take Brianna with you and take her
oh
hiking
yeah,
out to the woods because they will. I found this out with Connie. They will show themselves to a female before they will a male. Like the
yeah,
night she looked back behind the camp and saw four of those eyeballs, saw 2 squatches standing back there, and then she saw the juvie at Sharanda Lake.
yeah.
So that's why I like taking. That's why me and Connie go all the time because they show themselves to her before
Right.
they show themselves to me. And that's the weird part. You know, is there
Huh.
something about a female that a squatch likes?
Yeah,
Maybe.
there was something about it. There is a lot of people. Some people I think realize that or starting to realize that when there's women involved, there seems to be a higher rate of activity. Some people don't realize that, but there's like the one area I've gone in several times by myself. This is up over by Elkhorn, but there's a certain particular area I was going in just to keep an eye on it, check it out because I was finding some pretty cool stuff in there. But the one time I just happened to have Brianna with me. We walk in, we're going so far. When you go in, there's kind of like a ridge on your right hand side,
Yeah.
and it's flat on the one side. Then eventually kind of goes up into a ridge, but in the middle, it's like it's kind of like a little valley you're walking into. But you walk in so far, and there's an old log road that runs in there. But walking in there one time, all of a sudden we're getting all these vocalizations. We're getting their whoops, howls, all kinds of weird stuff. And I'm like, holy crap. Brianna's like, Daddy, are those coyotes? I said, no. I said, well, I said, do you hear that? I said, that's not a coyote whooping at us. and, but it's just the one time I brought her in there, I get all this activity, just like the times when, like me and you and the girl we had that one over there in the Berlin area. Um, she
Oh
was
yeah,
the
the
one that
one.
was with me in the video when I was filming up on the hill there,
Yeah, because
and I
we
had the
went to
rock
that.
thrown at me.
I took you to that first spot, and then we went across the creek and went around to the back of a ridge where I told you I saw that gray one at.
Yeah.
And we heard something move, and I told her I should get up on that log and let out some weird sound. She did, and there was one about 30 yards in front of her. It was a young one. He was
Hmm.
making all sorts of sound, freaking right. You know, I
Huh.
heard it follow us all the way around. But I never said anything to
Yeah.
her. He was just a young one. He's curious. I mean, I've had
Interesting.
them. I've had squatches mimic a bear as far as the teeth chatter. I've had them. I come across the creek out of that picnic area one time, and well, what happened was I was coming out and I jumped something to my left, which was right there at the creek.
Yeah.
And when it crossed the log and it hit the thicket, and it kind of followed me. And when I crossed the creek, it went up on that ridge and started following me in the it started following me on my left knee, and it started chatting his teeth like a bear. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, is that a bear, you know? But when I got down to where you take a left to go up on those two paths, one that goes in the back and one that goes around to the front of Kennedy Fields, I started walking up that path, and I got about halfway up it, and about 20 yards to my 11 o'clock position up on a hill, I got three super loud crack, crack, crack. It sounded like I heard elephants running.
Yeah.
Now, was that a squatch or was that a bear that was doing that cheat chatter? Because it seemed funny that when I was walking, it went up on the flat part of that ridge and I didn't hear it no more. But when I walked up that trail, I heard three loud tree knocks. Really, I mean, really loud. And then I heard elephants running. So, you know, but they make all sorts of sounds, you know, they mimic. They're good at mimicking, but there's particular animals that they cannot hit the note right.
Yeah.
Like a dove. A dove would do four, whoo, 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 and then go, whoo.
Right.
You can tell it's a squatch when you hear, whoo, whoo, whoo.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
I've heard does the exact same thing. That tells me it's a squatch.
So,
Coyote noises. If you listen to a pack of coyotes, there's a particular note that's high.
yeah.
Squatches cannot hit that high note, and they'll substitute it with a mid tone,
Yeah.
and that tells you every time. I mean, I've been predator hunting all my life, you know, and I pay attention very carefully to sounds. Now, there's a
Yeah.
lot of sounds. Like one day we come out of the woods in your area, and I said, I'm gonna do a yell, or I went whoop, and was it 30, 40 feet to our 1 o'clock position?
yeah. Right there. Yeah, I told you about the day I took Michael Cook up there, right? But it was last January. Michael Cook, he came up to do a seminar. And the day before, it was Friday. And I said, oh, we got some time. Come here. I'll show you the coal road. And so we rode over there. He had his car. I had mine. We rode up there. And we went on the one spot over there where I camp next to you. Well, the two trails, we stayed on the lower trail. We walked back there a little ways just to looking around. And it was cold that day. And then as we were walking back out, he decided to pick up a dead log or a piece of heavy wood, and he took it and started beating it on a dead log that was laid down. And after like several beats on that log, within we were not expecting that. I know I wasn't because it was cold, and I was like, all of a sudden we started getting responses all around us, and we heard thump, knock, boom, thump. What the heck? I mean, coming from different directions. And I was like, we're getting excited. This is awesome. And then it eventually died down. And then we're kind of doing Facebook Live, walking out of there, and by the time we got back out to the road, we're just standing there by our vehicles, just talking. And while we were in the middle of talking, what we hear next, we both stop in our tracks and look in the direction because we hear woo, woo, and we're like looking in the direction where it came, and we look back at each other. I was like, that's cool. We just came from back there, and we're getting the howls, you know. So
I see,
yeah,
in my camp, like when people was there that night, the conference and everything, I've never heard them. I've always seen them. Never heard them. They never knocked or nothing. They just show up, But you can go in there and you get responses, and I don't. They just show. Right. They just. I see them at nighttime. They come with it. Like I had Verna's boyfriend on one side of the camp, on next to the creek, and Connie had the others over on the right side of the camp where you come in from the cars. There were 6 juveniles standing right out there in the open, right next to Ernie. I mean, right next to me was Verna's boyfriend. I had a 10-footer and an 18-footer standing to my left, and we was watching a juvenile walk up and down the creek bed. He was watching us, this guy. He's about 5 foot tall. And he turned his back and he started walking from left to right. So I grabbed him and I swung him around. And it was funny because when his eyes locked eyes with that juvenile Sasquatch, it looked like you put a grenade up his ass.
Oh
Or that
wow.
Squatch's ass. He was gone. But I don't hear them. I see them, but I don't hear them. I can go to your area and I can hear them all day long, but I'll never see them.
Yeah.
That's the difference I've noticed in your area and my area. Mine, you'll see them at night. Now, if I like during the day, if I go to B&R Grocery, there's a 10-footer that comes out of the wood line right there at the camp across the road and stand there and watch Connie. And when I come back, he'll turn around and leave.
Right.
Now, why is that? He watches it now on that guy's property is where they all come from at nighttime, because they come up and they walk right down that power line to that guy's trout pond, and then they come forward. They come forward there, and they come forward right there where we park the cars at, and they come right across there on the right side of the camp, and they come right across the left side of the camp on the Kennedy Ridge side.
Yeah.
That's the way they cross. And the juveniles all over the damn place. But it's weird. I can't figure it out. I've knocked on trees, everything, no response, none. I've never got a response out of my area. I've only seen them, but I've never heard them. And I can't. And you go in there and get knocks, tree knocks, whoops, and all that shit.
Yeah.
I can't figure that out.
Well, the one time, I mean, I don't know. I had Brianna with me when I had multiple tree knocks on right behind camp on the lower trail. We weren't even all the way on. We were at that one bend where there's kind of an open spot right there.
Yeah.
Well, we were just hanging out there. She was sitting. There used to be a log going across there, and she was sitting there on that log. I had the parabolic mic on with my ears, and I was listening. And all of a sudden, knock, 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 knock. And I was like, Brianna, I'm hearing tree knock. And she said, Daddy, they're coming from over there. I said, you hear them too? And I was like, I took my headset off, and we were hearing them without it. So I mean, right there. Yeah. I mean, because if you walk through, it's the way that creek runs through the air where we were. If you go straight through, you end up coming out to the creek, close to the out down towards the picnic area.
Yeah. So and I'll tell you, I'm gonna take that back about hearing them. One time I had that Michael Giovanni, whatever his name is, the redhead guy in your group.
Oh yeah, Chewy. I call him Chewy. That's his nickname.
Yeah, when him and his buddy come down, it was February and it was blue ball cold. We had tarp wrapped all the way around our camp. We had a hell of a fire going, but we had enough space open where we could watch our vehicles back where you normally park at.
Right.
Okay. I had saw it was a full moon and wind was blowing. I saw two Squatches come from that field coming down. I saw them come across the field coming down toward the vehicles. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and they got about 20 yards, 30 yards from our vehicles, and I said, y'all gonna get a rude awakening. They're like, what? And right when they touched his vehicle, both of them went whoop, 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 real loud. One went across the road. The guy sitting to my right was leaning back in his chair, which was leaning back against the tarp. And the other Squatch come down behind the camp and rubbed his hands, and his hands rubbed the tarp going back and rubbed that guy across the back. Give him a heart attack. That's the only time I've ever heard Squatches in my area. The only time. These guys was about 7 foot tall, and they were brothers. It's the same two that Brianna seen that one time, because they always hung together, and then when they come out, they're right behind the camp, everybody about 30, 40 yards back, and they'll walk right out into the thickets, and they'll stand there and watch the camp because they're right behind the tent.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen them for a while, so I don't know. But
I think it was we're gonna get ready to come to a close. Donald Trussell asked you, for some reason his message disappeared, but I saw it before it disappeared. Wanted to ask if you and Connie have been able to camp lately.
No, we're not going to be camped for the rest of the year. We go out there during the day. The Squatches they left. Now, being an empath, she can sense them, and they're nowhere around. The apple orchard, we had that one the other day that follows. She's got quite a few pictures with him on it. Got one picture of him belly crawling, and he got the rest of them with him standing in the open between trees looking at you. That's the only Squatch we seen the whole herd week. The only one we know is in the area. So they done left, or they're starting to way up the mountain because we really didn't have any. We seen structures and footprints, but that was about it.
Yeah.
And she says they're gone, or they're migrating right now. So I don't know.
Yeah,
We're
the
not
weather.
gonna be we're not gonna be camping for next year.
Yeah, the weather is starting to get cool and everything now. So
yeah. Did you find a place to have the Bigfoot con yet?
There is a place. I didn't want to announce it yet. I want. But there is a place we're looking at. It sounds like I think we're gonna go through with it, but I have to wait. Seeking sponsors to get the funds for it. So
just tell me what town it's in.
It's in Waynesboro.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just say it's just right off of 64 in Waynesboro, and next to between the Crack Barrel and the new Fish and Pig restaurant.
Ah, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So because they got a nice big conference room in there. They got they got a big hall, which hold on, my cord's stuck. Okay. Yeah, they got a conference room there. Before you go into the conference room, it's they do a lot of wedding receptions and other conventions in there. But they got a big wide hall where all the vendors get set up in there. They got a separate room. It's like a presidential room. I don't know whatever they call it, but and I think there's another one which it would be. There's plenty of room there, and everything would be more professional. We wouldn't have noise interference from no other group being next to us.
Yeah, I heard about that. I missed over half of it because I had to go set the camp up, then I had to go tear the camp down. So I missed a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, everybody was starting to get upset. Me and Greg actually literally walked next door to see what was going on, and they were just setting up. There was a bunch of Hispanic people, guys. They were setting up their sound stage and everything. They were just playing music. Huh?
Sweet 16 is what it was.
It was something like no, actually, she was getting rid. It was the whatever they call that thing when the girl turned 13. Yeah, they have a big thing when the girl turns 13. So
yeah,
bar mitzvah. No, that's Jewish. I forget what it's called, but so
yeah, I heard all about that.
Yeah,
that place you're talking about is it's a damn good place to have it at, man.
Yeah, and plus, I've already talked to the girl that's the head of the. She's the director of all the stuff there.
Yeah.
As far as group discount, everybody will be able to at least get 20% off if they want to stay or book their rooms there. So.
Well, how much do I need to pitch in to help you out on it to get it?
Well, right now I'm gonna start. We're waiting to get our sponsorship program again. We had one for last year, but we're gonna revise it a little bit. I know I have somebody that's from Kentucky that's already committed to being a sponsor for us, which is awesome. So yeah, once we start, I haven't promoted any sponsorship online yet, as far as what you're trying to gather sponsors. But as far as like vendors and stuff like that, I've already said we're already accepting vendor spaces. So all those funds that I get from that'll help secure the place too. But yeah, because I need to get total cost of everything. Because I need to go there and meet the lady in person again. I met there once. She showed me everything, it's awesome. But yeah, we won't have no issues with sound. Everything's all up to date there. They provide everything that we need, so which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm waiting. I already had one. Oh, and I do have tickets on sale already. It's somebody already bought tickets. If you guys are interested for the 2019 ECBRO Virginia Bigfoot Con, go check out our website, which is www.virginiabigfootcon.com. Actually, I will put it in the live chat right now.
Yeah, we're gonna be adding some more. We're gonna be adding some more pictures to our portfolio and everything from what we've caught already this year. So
all right, Nick. Cool. Oh, Nikki just told me what it's called. I don't know if I can pronounce that word. With Quinceanera, if I'm pronouncing it right. Quinceanera.
Colin?
Yeah.
Oh, Screwball.
She's on the live chat.
Hey, Screwball.
So, yeah, we're in the middle of planning for 2019, the ECBRO Virginia Bigfoot Con. For those who missed it first time around, you guys missed an awesome, amazing event. We had a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people loved it. So be on the lookout.
Is Ed Brown gonna be there again?
I'm not sure. I don't know. There's a lot where we haven't touched base with yet. As far as getting other speakers and everything, we're trying to be careful with that. We need to make sure first step is to secure the venue and then go from there. So, because some speakers cost money like they did last year.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, Nikki said hi, old man.
Tell her I'll be 59 to 30 next month.
Okay, yeah, she heard you.
Yeah, I'm in 60. So I'm an old geezer.
So, ladies and gentlemen, yep, check that out right there. So, yeah, it's probably blurry. Oh well. So yeah, you guys feel free to come on out next year. We'll fill you in on more details. You can go to the website. I have more updating to do there, and I was reading a lot of what was on the live chat, which that would be a lot of that discussion that you guys were doing on the live chat. That's something definitely for another podcast show. That would be very interesting. Started off with that, which I'll fill you in on that in a little bit, Fred, what they were talking about. But meanwhile, you guys have a good night. Keep it squatchy, and if you have not done so, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get the notifications for next show and other uploads. I'm out.